Good morning, everybody. This morning we will start the week of reviews with a review of my favorite Kris Kristofferson song of all time. Loving Her is easier than anything I'll ever do again, or Loving Her is easier. This is a song that first appeared on Kris's 1971 album, The Silver-Tongued Devil and I, and has been covered by a whole slew of people, most notably Willie Nelson. As a matter of fact, I think it was Willie's version that I first heard, and then I fell in love with it through Willie's version. And actually, Loving Her is Easier is one of those songs that, especially when Willie delivers it, makes me tear up because of, the way Willie delivers it, because he has kind of he does it in kind of a mournful, he does it with a kind of a cry in his voice. And like I said, I just absolutely love this song. It's my favorite Kris Kristofferson song of all time. And my favorite version of it is the Highwaymen version of it from their American Outlaws show from Nassau Coliseum, when him and Willie do it together. And between the two of them, it's a masterful performance. But that comes a little later when we review the Highwaymen American Outlaws set, which we will be doing a little further down the road. To kind of fill out this review, I'm going to give you a little background on, very little background on Kris Kristofferson. He started out as, he is actually a Rhodes Scholar. And this is why I love his songs, in particular, Loving Her is Sweeter, or Loving Her is Easier. And you can tell Kris is kind of a poet, sort of. I liken him to Bob Dylan in that he has such a tremendous way with words, and he I mean, let's face it, the guy knows how to write a song. I mean, and proof positive is that there have been so many covers of Kris Kristofferson songs, it's not even funny. Chief among them, Bobby McGee by Janice, which, don't even get me started. But anyway, and he, like I said, he started out as a Rhodes Scholar, and then Johnny Cash sort of discovered him and brought him to the forefront of the music business. And actually, I think Johnny was the first one to cover, was the first country musician to really champion Kris Um, so much so that he had him on the Johnny Cash show numerous times. And so, but the minute I heard Loving Her Is Easier, I just immediately fell in love with it. And a couple years ago, I had the extreme pleasure, the unbelievable pleasure, to see Kris do it live and in person. Do the song live and in person. But he did it just with him and his guitar and harmonica. But that's the thing about people like Kris's songs, is that with just guitar and harmonica, he can leave you spellbound, and he certainly did that to me. And my only regret is that I didn't get a chance to see the Highwaymen live. I would have loved to have seen the Highwaymen live, and anyway, like I said, this Loving Her Is Easier came from one of Kris's first records, The Silver-Tongued Devil and I. And while we're talking about Kris Kristofferson covers, one of the most one of the funniest covers is when Kris and Rita were the musical guests on the Muppet Show. Kris and Miss Piggy duetted on "Help Me Make It Through the Night," and that performance just cracks me up every time I see it. And so anyway, and check this out. Unfortunately, or check that out too, because you'll laugh your rear end off. Unfortunately, they didn't do Loving Her Is Easier on the Muppet Show. But, and two, if you get a chance, please check out Willie's version of Loving Her Is Easier. You will be reduced to a puddle of water. So overall, I give Loving Her Is Easier about 20 stars, and I hope you enjoy it.